Fight on, fight on, fight on. Welcome to Trojan Baze, talking all things USC football, and today is a Wisconsin recap. Well, USC was triumphant and went to 3-1, 11 in the AP poll. We won't talk about the coaches poll because there's some wackadoodles over on that poll. Anyway, it was like kind of almost similar to the Michigan game, Michigan blueprint. Sluggish first half, picked it up in the second half, much more solid. Actually, a little bit more, or I would say a lot more explosive in the second half against Wisconsin, finding a downfield threat. Jacoby Lane is turning out to be a very, very, like a primary weapon for USC's offense. Deuce Robinson, you're talking two tall, lanky, fast, athletic wide receivers. I guess, they're starting to figure out that these two provide a mismatch against much smaller defensive backs. USC's running game was workmanlike, not explosive. Look, Woody Marks is a complete back. He, I think, lacks maybe vision a little bit, explosiveness a little bit. Sure, if he gets a crease and there's an opening, he'll break some long runs. But Quentin Joyner looks to be the more powerful of the two. Breaks a lot of tackles, seems bullish, seems fast. I'm hoping in the future Joyner can get more touches. Maybe again, this is kind of I think Miller Moss threw 45 times. There was a total of, I think 80 plays. I mean, they really tired out. I got that sense in the first half. It's weird. It was a weird first half. 3 turnovers, USC. Usually you don't win the turnover battle. Once again, Zach Branch, electrifying guy, but I think he's in some kind of sophomore slump. We know slumps. I got out of a slump recently. And here I am, Trojan Baz. No, poor guy I think he's in his head too much, especially when it would punt and kickoff return, especially punt return. Seems like he's having difficulty gauging, putting the team sometimes in some bad field position. But he'll figure it out. And look, I think USC is a well-coached team. I was harsh about Lincoln Riley after the Michigan loss. Again, when they had the ball toward the end of the game, about 7 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that, and they did some inexplicable, instead of just run the ball. I guess they ran it. I mean, I don't have the stats in front of me, but if there's about 80 total plays and 45, that means they ran the ball 35 times, and it seems like, really, they ran that much? It didn't seem like they did, but that's more balanced than prior. So as we get deeper into the season, we're going to travel to Minnesota. Minnesota looks to be another solid team. I think they're up there in top 10 defensive rankings. Again, you got to look at who people are playing, right? I think these rankings, offensive, defensive, can be skewed. And USC's played some quality. Probably when you look at their schedule so far, they're probably one of the top teams playing quality opponents. LSU, Michigan, Wisconsin, and they blanked Utah State. So we're talking some quality opponents here. But here we go on the road once again to Minnesota, traveling. I think SC needs to really try to work on a complete game, stop being so sluggish. I think it's going to come to bite them sometime, but they persevered. Wisconsin had a lot of momentum, and USC definitely switched that around. Wisconsin made a huge error. A punt guy dropped it. Hank Pepper, who looks to be a really solid player, a special team player for us, jumped on it. It kind of changed the course of the game. Plays like that can happen, and sure enough, it did. USC just kind of controlled. When you have the the 80 snaps on offense. Your defense does a whole bunch of 3 and outs, especially in the second half. The other team, you could tell Wisconsin was getting very tired and having a tough time. And that's where you really want to pound that football, especially toward the tail end of the game. Why get cute or whatever? Look, of course I'm playing armchair quarterback here, but my goodness, run that ball, run Mr. Joyner, who looks to be a terrific back. Some second stringers got in toward the tail end. SC, I think Eric Gentry went out with, I don't know, a stinger or something. I have no idea. He looked like to be a little bit, he dinged up. Mason Cobb, amazing interception return. He looked kind of at the tail end of that play. He looked a little dinged up. So hopefully going into Wisconsin, we might see some new faces on D, on O. Our offensive line is kind of taking there's some criticism. Look, are they great? No. Are they dependable? No. Are they doing their best and solid? I would say yes. They look, in the second half, yes, Moss was getting pressured. Moss has been getting pressured. But when you look at other games, like when I looked at that Georgia-Alabama game, Georgia has supposedly all these amazing first rounders, blah, blah, on their offensive line. Huge, one of the best in the country. Alabama was putting Beck on his butt constantly throughout the game. And that was all teams, this happens in college football. Georgia was so far behind in the first half. They turned it on the second half. They actually got in front of, they led for about, 30 seconds. And that would have been the most miraculous comeback ever if they actually held on to win that game. But it happens to a lot of teams, uneven first half, second half, vice versa. Having a complete game, you have to remember these are young men. They're doing their best. Of course we want a complete game or an 80%. In a perfect world, yes, of course, that's what you aim for, and it could happen, and great championship pedigree teams have that kind of consistency, and I think USC is trying to find that. And also on D, look, D is the amazing strides have been taken, amazing. I don't think USC has the horses, the elite talent overall on the roster in the trenches, and this is a well-known fact for USC fans and everybody else, and who cares what anyone else thinks, but that's the aim. The aim is to bring in the top talent that you can develop. The trenches are everything. USC will never have problem getting skill level talent, top skill guys. I mean, come on, that's not going to be an issue. It's getting those front 7 guys on defense. It's getting those offensive linemen that dominate, that control, that don't let your quarterback, and also Riley and his play calling and the offensive staff can design things, and I think they're picking up with extra tight ends. The running back helping out, chipping, giving Moss a second or 2 extra, which is, makes all the difference in the world, and you're starting to see that more. So, look, this narrative about SEC, and there's the top tier, and oh my goodness, the Big Ten. Look, hey man, we should have won the Michigan game, should have, right? I don't want to get into it. I got into it before with the officiating and all that nonsense. No excuses, but yeah, SC could be and should be 4-0, but they're not. They're 3-1. They're handling themselves very well in the rowdy, rugged Big Ten, and I think others, and I think Luke Fickell even said it in his post-game conference after SC, said, "Look, we wanted this. We wanted SC and these other teams." I don't know how Oregon and Washington got in. Come on, man. Oh God. Anyway, that upsets me so much, but. Yeah, now you got another blue blood in that conference, and SC is bringing a lot of eyes, a lot of wonderful notoriety to that conference. And when Fickell was saying that, what we wanted this, meaning, oh boy, now we have another good football program, maybe even bordering on great in the next couple of years, that we have to play and deal with. And I think that's what he was saying. Look, he knows that SC has athletes. Now it's, Riley, and they're doing it, dealing with the world of NIL and everything, and transfer portal, all this craziness to really recruit well, recruit in the trenches. And yeah, we all know it. That's and I'm sure that they're doing it, and there might be changes always, on the staff, turnover, so forth and so on. But it was a solid win for SC. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Yeah, it could be frustrating as a fan. You're thinking, like, in the first half, I'm like, oh my God, so uninspired, so sloppy. They just didn't look like they were into it. It was messy. It was, oh boy, it was flat. And sure enough, boom. I don't know what exactly takes place in terms of adjustments. You hear all the adjustments, and well, something's working. I don't know if it's team led or coach and team led. They come out and it was just like Jekyll and Hyde, right? It was like it was Two-Face. this face is like first half. Second face is like, oh, you look so handsome. You're so beautiful. You're wonderful. And that's how it was. That's how it played out. So anyway, fight on. That was our Wisconsin recap. Subscribe if you like what you're hearing. Look, I don't have the fancy studio. I'm just a guy who's passionate about SC football. Been so for 50 years of my life, right? So subscribe to Trojan Baz. Tell friends. Join. Look, we're having fun. We're figuring it out. We're having a good time. Fight on.